All right. It's been a little bit since we did a stream, y'all. We were gonna do one yesterday, didn't end up happening. Tonight we got to do it on the late night. So if you're here with us, we really appreciate it. And we're gonna apologize for waiting this long to recap this card. I don't really get to watch many cards anymore. This was one that I got to watch. And Chris, I know you got to watch some of it too. UFC London, though, MOVSAR EVLOEV beats Lerone Murphy. I won't even put he beat Lerone Murphy. Judges called it what it is. Chris, I know you're a little bit heated, but what do you think of the card overall, man? I thought for what this was going to be, or for what we were building it up to be, I wouldn't say it met expectations necessarily. I think it had some good moments sprinkled throughout. But what do you think, man?
I am tragically lagging right now. Like, okay, these freeze frames look terrifying.
While Chris catches up to speed.
Yeah, one sec.
I'm like slowly seeing him come back and revive his camera. But while Chris comes back to speed, overall, I thought when we go through the prelims, I thought the prelims were dope. Obviously, Mason Jones and Axel Solo was a crazy fight. We had Chanel Dyer, first fight of the card, getting a performance bonus. And then even on the main card, Ivo Baranevsky absolutely demolishing Austin Lane. Hey, who could have predicted that would happen? And then obviously you go to MVP and Sam Patterson. I have a lot to say about MVP, actually. Probably like a full-on rant on MVP, just because I think the UFC should take some action with him. I know Chris feels a little different. We were arguing about it a little bit before. But we're going to go top to bottom through this card. We'll start with the first fight of the night. As I mentioned, Chanel Dyer versus Ravena Oliveira. Chanel Dyer just looked fantastic here. She rocked Oliveira badly in the second round, finished the fight with punches. I mean, she's young. She's athletic. She has real power. I think she's definitely someone to watch in that division. I think this is the end of the road for Ravena Oliveira personally. I think they're going to let her go. But for Chanel Dyer, I think one more matchup and she'll get up into the ranked elite. With strawweight, is it really the ranked elite or is it the ranked good? I guess we don't know. But I think a good matchup for Chanel Dyer next would be Loma Lookboonmee. When we talk about the matchup on the feet, Chanel Dyer obviously comes to throw. Loma also comes to throw. And in her last fight, she took on Alexia Tainara, who is a fantastic grappler. And once Tainara was able to bring Lookboonmee down to her world, it was over. But Dyer's not going to do that. You know, Dyer's going to actually entertain a fight on the feet. And I think that's the big difference here. So I'd love to see Chanel Dyer and Loma Lookboonmee. I think that could be a really, really good fight. And again, hey, we have Chris back here. And it seems like he's not lagging. So that's good. We'll see if it holds up for the rest of the stream. Which
can you hear me?
I'll go ahead and knock on wood. Yes, we can hear you, brother. Loud
and clear. Can you see me?
Well, yes.
Okay, because on my screen, I'm just a black screen. Oh, here I am. I am back.
Yeah, we can see you though.
Yeah, I have the stream link pulled up on my phone, so if that happens again, I'll just join on that. But okay. Yeah. Where were we?
Just talking about Chanel Dyer. I was just saying that Loma Lookboonmee. I was saying Chanel Dyer versus Loma Lookboonmee would be a good matchup next, and Ravena Oliveira is getting cut, but Chanel Dyer looked awesome.
Yeah, Chanel Dyer looked insane. Great bounce back from her gritty Contender Series fight. As I begin to lag again, Chanel Dyer was not lagging in her fight. She was pedal to the metal. Good job of moving out of the way of strikes and entering the pocket when she could. I hate my Wi-Fi. Why is this happening? I have 3 bars and I'm sitting not even 10 feet away from my router. So great.
I don't think it's anything on our end, but
no, it's not. You're fine. It's me. My computer is when's the last time I updated this thing? App Store 7 updates. I'm just gonna join on my phone. I'll.
All right, bet. We'll get Chris in here. He'll come in on his phone, but overall, we share the same sentiment. Chanel Dyer definitely deserved the bonus. It was a great performance in her debut, and yeah, she was able to get it done here. Moving right along, Shamrock versus Abdul Karim Al Sawadi. Man, Shamrock, man. He talked a ton of trash before the fight, and then he got absolutely dominated. Al Sawadi outstruck him. He controlled the fight. He completely embarrassed him. Gang, is he finna win? Oh, what's up, bro? How we doing, man? Welcome to the stream, brother. I'm tired, man. I'm so exhausted. I know Chris is exhausted too, but Chris is right here, actually.
Oh,
we were just getting him connected,
okay?
you know?
Can you see me? Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool.
We got Chris in here, though.
Yo, what up,
Chris,
bro?
you were the only one that took Abdul Karim Al Sawadi on the pod.
I'm him. Yeah, it was kind of a shot in the dark. I just didn't like how Shamrock looked in his last fight, albeit it was against Nurullo Aliyev, who we have dubbed a Habib clone.
Yeah.
I just didn't really see anything on the striking side from him, even in his previous fights, that really made him jump off the paper to me. Al Sawadi was coming off a 2-year layoff, so yeah, it was a little bit of a risky pick. And Al Sawadi was the favorite, then became the underdog at the closing line, which made me a little nervous. But I thought there was a lot of steam being blown on Shamrock being in his home country, home region. I think a lot of people were kind of just hyping that up, but yeah, Al Sawadi looked good, very aggressive on the front foot. Takedowns were there. Yeah, I mean, it was just a really good performance from him. Kind of what I expected. I expected him to take the fight to Shamrock, and that's exactly what he did. He just outclassed him, if we're being completely honest. Actually, Shamrock landed the takedown. Al Sawadi was 0 for 4, but still outstruck him double his strikes, 105 to 52. Yeah, I just liked what I saw from him. Good shot selection, aggression that I think won him some points on the judges' scorecards. But yeah, definitely a good good comeback win for Al Sawadi.
Hey, what's up, John? Welcome to the stream, brother.
What's
Good
up,
to see you,
John?
bro. People were saying this card sucked, but I think 326 was worse. I think they were both bad in their own right.
I think they're the same. I think they both had bright spots and dull spots as well.
It's also hard because we're comparing a fight night to a numbered event, right? So I think relative to numbered event standards, 326 was definitely bad. So if you place numbered events on a higher pedestal, then yeah, you're going to be more let down by 326 because fight nights are kind of what you come to expect. I think I was more disappointed by this London card, though. I came in with, I guess, higher expectations of what was going to happen, and it just didn't end up that way. But both cards were kind of just bad in their own right. Hopefully, this upcoming card in Seattle can turn things around because I wouldn't say the Paramount era is off to the best start here. But back to the fight. After the fight, I don't know if you noticed it. Shamrock tried to shake hands and. Also, Wadi basically just said, like, nah, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And honestly,
not a good showing.
Honestly, fair enough, man. I'm kind of fed up with Shamrock. Like, the guy has potential. He definitely seems like a Patchy Mix-esque guy in terms of the run he's having. I wouldn't compare him directly head on, but in terms of the matchmaking, I think you do. I think you give Abdul Karim Al Sawadi like a layup type of fight, maybe like an Ottman Azaitar. I think would make sense. Give him a chance to get a finish. I think that's the biggest thing here. So I think Azaitar will definitely help in that regard. Obviously, the last time we saw him was against Michael Johnson, where he got knocked out cold on that Tampa card. So yeah, overall, good win for Abdul Karim Al Sawadi. And to say that Shamrock kind of had it coming, yeah, he kind of did. Heavyweights now, Louis Sutherland, Bronto Perisic. Perisic gets it done by KO. Before I get into it, who would win, Fluffy or RoboCop? I'd take Fluffy. Yeah, I think I'd take Fluffy.
I might take RoboCop in that.
And I think the recency bias with Fluffy is kind of crazy right now. We've never seen RoboCop get tested in the wrestling this much, with the fight that Fluffy would bring to him. And I think that unknown kind of leaves me like, is it a bad matchup for him? But we're going to talk about Fluffy a little bit down the road here because I do have a matchup for Fluffy in mind. But Bronto Perisic might be the real deal, man. The guy hits insanely hard. He destroyed Sutherland just with heavy shots, heavy punches. He looked technically sharp doing so. And we talk about heavyweight. Heavyweight needs fresh talent. And I think Perisic could be one of those guys.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was actually briefly with our friend of the podcast, Terrence. And I said, yo, watch this. Perisic he's about to win in under half a round. You guys know I love my under half a round bets. And yeah, it was free. It was pretty free, as free can get. Sutherland strangely had a wrestling approach in the beginning. I think whenever you see that in a fight like this, when you just have two heavy hitters going at it, when one of them starts wrestling, even off rip, when big shots haven't been landed yet, that just showed me that Sutherland knew the danger coming in. He wanted to try and avoid it as much as possible, and didn't work. I mean, he's a classic, just bomb-heavy overhands guy. Perisic, like we said, technical kickboxer, comes out of City Kickboxing. Great gym, one of the top gyms in all of MMA, and it really showed. And he has a great kickboxing background as well. Yeah, for a guy like that who moves very fast, very slick, and powerful, he's a tough guy to stop. So, I mean, we completely expected this to happen. Sam actually picked Sutherland, but I expected Perisic to completely run through Louis Sutherland.
Yeah, I don't know what Sam was thinking picking this build right here.
Yo, that low-key looks like my boy Joe without the tats.
Crazy work.
I'm gonna send him that picture later, actually. I should text him.
Yeah, this is a crazy.
If you look at him, he kind of looks Guido.
To me, it just looked, because if you actually go back and look at his pictures from the regional scene, he does not look like this. So I'm thinking it's the roids.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're juicing and you look like that, are you juicing correctly?
I can't really speak on that. I don't
can't
know
either.
what it's like to juice correctly.
Well, he doesn't have the receding hairline yet, so it's still unknown.
Is that part of it? Like your hairline just recedes?
Yeah, it completely destroys your well, obviously it increases your testosterone, but it just messes with all the other hormones in your body. So you'll have some side effects, like you'll have a receding hairline, other private stuff that you could just look it up. I'm not talking about that. A lot of bacne, like a lot of acne.
Well, I knew that, yeah.
Yeah, that.
I didn't know about the hairline though.
Yeah, receding hairline, because it messes with let's look up why steroids make your hairline recede. Why?
All right, you got that.
Yeah.
Montas Contradavicius beats Antonio Trocoli by decision. Contradavicius dominated in round one. He honestly should have finished the fight. At one point, Trocoli looked completely done. I thought it was going to be over from there, but instead of finishing him, Contradavicius went for a choke and ended up letting him survive. And that allowed Trocoli to push back in that third round. So still a clear win for Contradavicius, but I don't think it was the statement performance it could have been. And this was a debut that I was definitely looking forward to after Contender Series. Like, who are they going to match up Montas with? Because he looked really, really good on Contender Series, but I think this fight didn't really live up to the expectations, for me at least, compared to what I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I was looking forward to a little bit more of a dominant fight from Contradavicius, especially against a guy like Antonio Trocoli. Um, Definitely opportunities to get him out of there. Wasn't able to. So yeah, I would say this was a letdown. I still haven't obviously given up on Contradavicius. I just think that he has more potential than what we were shown in this fight. Obviously, a win is a win, but for a guy like Trocoli that gets finished pretty often, you would want a guy from Contender Series with the hype of Contradavicius. Yo, what's up, Tyler? Woke up for the stream.
Hey,
Yeah, go back to bed, brother. The beauty of YouTube streams is that you can watch this tomorrow. But thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for tapping
Appreciate
in.
that.
And
Appreciate
thank
that.
you for the like, man.
And thank you for the like. Yeah, you're the man. But yeah, I mean, Contradavicius, what was he? Minus 900, somewhere around the 7 to 900 range. I mean, he fought like it, but at the same time, we were kind of all expecting a first round finish from him. But yeah, I mean, is what it is. So I figured out why anabolic steroids cause hairline recession, and this is from the Chicago Hair Institute. Attribution is key. We are journalists. Got to give props to the people who
get
do
to the
this
point.
research. Okay, hairline recession is accelerating the production of dihydrotestosterone, DHT, which is a byproduct of testosterone. High levels of DHT bind to your hair follicles, and it causes inflammation and triggers the miniaturization process. And that creates the hair follicles to shrink, and eventually you'll just stop producing hair in general.
I was following along with like half of that. I'll take it.
Basically, it just shrinks your hair follicles.
Okay, I see.
Short, long story short.
Also, matchmaking wise for the last fight, I do Brando Perisic versus Shamil Gaziev.
Shamil, dude,
I just give him the rank shot immediately. He deserves it. Heavyweight is so thin that you could just send him right on up.
Not John Jones could have been opponent.
Yeah, could have been. For Montas, give him another layup. I'd say give him like Ryan Loder. I think that would be a good matchup. I've seen that being floated around. I think that'd be pretty solid and kind of fits the timeline. We want to see a finish from Montas, and I think Ryan Loder is definitely there to be finished. So that's what I would do. And Antonio Trocoli's obviously, he's getting cut. I just don't see the UFC giving him another chance. This was kind of it. But yeah, moving right along. This was a big disappointment for me.
Dude, tell me about it.
Mario Pinto and Felipe Franco. Pinto came in with a lot of hype. He was a minus 900 favorite. Performance overall was pretty underwhelming. He mostly tried to wrestle, but he could not hit a takedown to save his life. I don't think he landed a single one, maybe one or two. Franco defended well. He landed some clinch shots. It just ended up being a slow fight, really sloppy. So even though Pinto won, I think his stock definitely took a hit. But with that being said, he is going to be fighting up into the rankings. I don't think he's ranked yet. So he was about to get a rank shot against Mick Parkin, and now he will actually get a rank shot. I think a good matchup for him would be like a Vitor Petrino. Petrino is right on the cusp of the rankings. I think he's at 15 right now. So I think that would make sense for him. Pretty much right on the edge of the rankings, both of these guys are, and they're kind of right next to each other in that sense. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed by Mario Pinto here. I thought it would have been relatively easy for him to get Felipe Franco out of there, but hey, it's MMA, I guess.
Yeah. Franco definitely had a very solid grappling background, and it showed. I think Pinto was respecting his striking game just a little bit too much. Maybe even the grappling game as well. Didn't really want to get inside and unload like we've seen him do in the past. And I think that's one of his best traits. So I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, I guess I got to credit Felipe Franco too for staying in there as long as he did, going to decision with Mario Pinto. Um, but yeah, I'm just not really sure what happened. I think that he was just respecting the skills of Felipe Franco a little bit too much, and no disrespect to Felipe Franco. I just think that Pinto is clearly the better fighter and could have exploited the striking game a little bit more. Not even a little bit more, actually, a lot more than he did. But yeah, I mean, he could fight Vitor Petrino. I honestly think that they could just rebook the Mick Parkin fight. I think that that could be a solid option as well. Obviously, Mick Parkin pulled out because of injury. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the timeline is on that. If that timeline isn't going to work, I think a Vitor Petrino could be worth it. Or what's Ante Delia's ranking?
I think he's like
Is he
he's
the
somewhere between 10 and 15. That's what I
Okay,
know.
I would honestly not be mad at that fight as well. I think that that could be a very solid fight between two guys who are um very solid strikers. But yeah, I would just like to see a little bit more from Pinto than we were exposed to. Felipe Franco though was 10-1, now 10-2. At least this loss was better than his Freddie Vidal loss. um, but yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy that the UFC would keep around and just see what he's actually about. Yeah, I mean, just kind of a fight that you just throw away and forget about, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah, this was a forgettable one all around. So I just checked Ante Deli as the 10th ranked contender. So
Okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
might be a little high, but like, I mean, I still think that that's a very reasonable fight for Pinto.
Yeah, and obviously Deli is on a 2-fight losing streak now after
Mhm.
losing to Sergey Spivak. But this fight was not a forgettable one. Nathaniel Wood and Hossein Kita. This was where the card actually started heating up. This was a tense fight. Like it felt like I couldn't breathe for 3 rounds watching this. I don't hate the decision at all. Both guys fought super careful, super calculated. Definitely one of those fights that could have gone either way, and nobody should be mad. Uh, Wood had the harder job, honestly, and he handled it beautifully. Kita is dangerous as hell. He's super long. He's explosive. He's an unpredictable fighter, and Wood just kept reading him the whole time. Again, I'll reiterate what we said on predictions. It is a shame that this was on the prelims and it was just kind
Yes.
of buried here. And neither guy was ranked too, so it lost some of its luster. But if you were able to watch this fight, it was so good. I think Losin Kita will be back. I'm not at all stocked down after watching this. I just think he ran into a really, really good UFC vet who really should not be fighting outside the top 10 anymore. I think his next fight should be squarely inside that top 10. It is pretty much overdue. So I'd bypass even giving him a fight between 11 and 15 because I think with his resume and the amount of wins he's got over the absolute cream of the crop in the unranked pool, it's time to give Nathaniel Wood a bit of a gift here because I think he deserves it. So whether I had 2 options in mind, and it's kind of dependent on results, but I was thinking Nathaniel Wood versus Aljo if he loses to Yusuf Zalal, or you could do Nathaniel Wood versus Arnold Allen if he loses to
I like that fight a lot better.
Yeah, so I think either of those would be great.
Yeah, I would, if they're gonna shoot for the top 10, Arnold Allen versus Nathaniel Wood. I think that would be a very good fight. Honestly, that would be a technical masterclass on both
UK
ends.
versus UK as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was able to watch the first round and a half while I was at work probably shouldn't say that, but I was getting my work done. Trust me. But yeah, and then I put the phone down, was doing things, and came back, saw a split decision. And even though I didn't see the second round really or the third round, I knew it was probably worthy of a split decision, from a statistical standpoint at least. I'm assuming that Keita got the second round on every card.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, Nathaniel Wood won the first round. I did see that, and I
Even
thought,
even the first round was really close though.
yeah, I think I gave the edge to Wood. Um, Keita, if you won the second round, it was going to come down to the third round, and at that point, I feel like it's just that just comes to that comes down to veteran prowess,
Mhm.
and Keita, very good striker. But yeah, Nathaniel Wood, he's just so good at making everyone he's in the octagon work, octagon with work. Nothing comes easy with this guy. He's now 11-3 in the UFC. I think it's far overdue for him to have a ranked opportunity. So yeah, Arnold Allen at 8. I think that could be solid. Even if you're going in the 10 to 15s, it's kind of tough because now you have Vallejos at 10. I don't think they're going to try and I don't think they're going to give. I mean, they could give give
Nah.
Wood to Vallejos, but yeah, I
Valeros
don't
is
think
not
so.
fighting down.
Yeah,
He's
I
not.
don't think that would make sense, especially with the trajectory that it seems like Vallejos is on. Then you have Ortega at 11. I think he's booked.
He's a lightweight now.
Or yeah, now he's lightweight. He's still in the featherweight ranking, so he will drop out. Um, actually, I guess if they change that, Nathaniel Wood could move into the rankings without even fighting, um,
Potentially.
potentially. But yeah, they're not. I don't think he's gonna fight Melky Costa. Pitbull is booked against Pico. The only one that really makes sense is Onama at 14. But honestly, if they just drop Ortega out of the rankings, which should happen, yeah, Nathaniel Wood could move into 15, and not even have to fight to be a ranked fighter, which, in my opinion, that's what should happen. But a little tricky on that front. But yeah, I love the Arnold Allen fight. I think that would be an amazing fight. Two guys that just love to bring it. Arnold Allen is a dog. He'll stand in there with anyone. And yeah, Nathaniel Wood, just night in, night out, technical masterclass. Like that's the one thing you can count on from this guy. So yeah, Shrikar, you did have the lone wolf. Got to give you props on that.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I thought Keita would be able to get a little more done. Split decision though, so it seems like he got some things done. But yeah, I mean, uh, props to Nathaniel Wood. When when his back is against the wall, that's when he's at his best. So
Yeah, again, I think people need a lay off of Los Anquite. I don't think he looked bad. It's just that
he didn't look bad.
Nathaniel Wood is such a tough matchup because he's been doing this for such a long time, and coming off the Delgado win, and Nathaniel Wood just keeps just banking for me. I just love this guy, man. Shout out to the last Kingsman, but we both think that a top 10 shot could be on the horizon for him very, very soon. This is the fight of the year, ladies and
Banger.
gentlemen. Mason Jones, Axel Sola. I have no hesitation in calling this the fight of the year so far. I mean, absolutely incredible. Sola looked amazing in that first round. Super sharp. He had great timing. The power behind his shots. I think everything was working for him. And then Mason Jones literally just turned it into a Mason Jones fight. And what that means is literally pressure, like who's going to have the bigger heart, who is going to survive the chaos, who is going to push the pace more. And Mason Jones turned that pace up to a notch that Sola, miraculously kept up with, but in the end, really couldn't grit down enough to get it done. But Sola did hold up better than I thought. It's just the cardio and the composure started slipping as it went on. I do agree with the scorecards. I think 29-28 Jones made sense, so I'm glad the judges mostly got that one right. I think the fun part here is in the matchmaking for Mason Jones, because 155 is a division where you could throw Mason Jones against anyone and he's going to make it a banger. It's another one for lightweight. So the route I was thinking, Mason Jones versus Kaue Fernandez. And the reason I bring up Kaue's name, I have not seen anyone bring up Kaue Fernandez in the Mason Jones matchmaking discourse. Everyone is. I've seen Dan Hooker get brought up, which I think is way too big of a step up for a guy that's still trying to break into the rankings. But Mason Jones and Kaue Fernandez would be something to behold on the feet. I think that would just be an absolute war for one. But also, how will Kaue hold up in a fight like that? I think that's the big question I want to see answered. It's either Kaue comes out of it as the real deal or Mason Jones comes out of it as the real deal. So people may not like it because it's pitting two risers against each other, but I think that's kind of just how it's going to be in lightweight. There's so many guys in that unranked pool that are still trying to claw their way up. And obviously we got Chris Duncan about to fight for a ranking against Renato Moicano. So there's a lot of action in lightweight, but man, I would love to see Mason Jones and Kaue Fernandez. I think that would be an absolute bloodbath and possibly one of the best fights of the year, just like this one was.
Yeah, I agree. This is probably fight of the year as of right now. Hopefully, that does not stick and stand. We always hope for better fights. But as of right now, I think these two guys solidified that. That was a war, like you said. And you mentioned the judges' scorecards. Two judges scored at 29-28. I don't know what that other judge was thinking with 30-27. I've said it time and again. I'm a solid believer that if you get dropped, you got to drop the other guy and accumulate damage to win that round. He got dropped. Mason Jones got dropped on a beautiful spinning back elbow, and it wasn't an egregious drop. He fell to a knee, but it was a knockdown. It was a knockdown. Let's actually see if that was scored a knockdown, because if that was scored like a slip, and it wasn't, I don't get the statistics in UFC sometimes. Like, I guess you have to be flat on your back for it to be a knockdown. Whatever. That's a conversation for a different time. But yeah, I mean, I think that Mason Jones definitely turned it up at the end of the first round, landing the sick knee in the clinch to cut open Axel Sola. And after that, I mean, that was really, in my opinion, the turning point of the fight. That one knee that once Mason Jones drew blood, it's like once he sees red, man, he just turns into a different animal. He like you said, just super gritty. Like that was the epitome of a Mason Jones fight. Um, he's so good, so tough, powerful too. I mean, he has it all. He has the high kicks. He landed a few beautiful head kicks in that fight, and I don't know how Solo was able to eat those. And yeah, as the rounds went on, 2 and 3, it's just Mason Jones. He just took over, and that's kind of what he does. I mean, that it happened in the Bellagioki fight too. Mason Jones was dropped in the first round. What does he do? Comes back like a completely different animal and swarms him and just takes over. Yeah, I think that was still a very solid performance from Axel Sola. I liked what I saw, the grit, the toughness that he displayed as well. But yeah, I think just the accumulation of damage towards the end really took Sola out of this fight. The cardio as well it was a pretty high pace. I liked what I saw from Sola on the grappling front, though. There were some really nice trip takedowns in there. So, not just showing that he's a very solid striker, that he can wrestle too. And Mason Jones is a good wrestler too. So to be able to do that, I think that's pretty impressive and definitely something for Sola to hang his hat on. But yeah, Mason Jones, I do like the Kaue Fernandez fight. I do think that could be a very good fight. Two technical, Mason Jones is a technical striker, but more of just I consider him a brawler, chaotic brawler, if that's an archetype in UFC. Kaue Fernandez is more of a sniper. The leg kicks, beautiful, beautiful. Someone else I was thinking of, if not Kaue Fernandez, I was thinking maybe Nazim Sadikov. I think that could be an absolute war. Like, definitely put that on a numbered card. I think that's a fight that would deserve to be in a little bit of spotlight. But yeah, I think the Kaue fight could be very good. Mason Jones should 100% be fighting up. Like, there's no question about that. It just it's just a matter of, scheduling and how all this is going to work. Like you said, Chris Duncan, I would have loved to see Mason Jones versus Chris Duncan, but Chris Duncan, yeah, I love Chris Duncan. That guy is awesome. But
That would be the grittiest fight of all
oh,
time
dude, I think there would be like 4 knockdowns in that fight.
in the first round itself.
Yeah, and 2 for each. Like it would be two apiece. But yeah, Chris Duncan, very, very much deserved ranked opportunity for him. And I was like, even Rebovix, but Rebovix is fighting Gamrot, which is also, I think, pretty well deserved on that front. But yeah, definitely great showing from Mason Jones and Axel Sola. Got to give both these guys credit in a fight like this, because
Yep.
you know what they say, it takes 2 to tango. So
Yep. No, exactly. Both guys came out 100K richer. Well deserved. Well deserved. This was an incredible fight. I made sure I rewatched it right after the entire card went to Paramount because it was just that good. It really was. Heading into the main card now, if you guys are in stream with us on this very, very late night, we really appreciate it, man. We really do. Make sure you leave a like on the stream if you're here with us. Hop in the chat if you want to give any of your thoughts on what us two dunces are saying, or if you have any thoughts on the card, make sure to let it be known in the chat, man. We're going to respond to everything.
Or if you're watching after we are done streaming, leave a like and comment. You can still comment on it, so still let us know what you're thinking. It is not just for the people who are here right now, which I'm gonna venture to say are not a lot.
Yeah, but we've had a lot of viewers in here actually. We really appreciate the support. But let's get into the main card. Curtis Campbell, lad. Curtis Campbell. Danny Silva knocks out Curtis Campbell. Danny Silva looked awesome. Campbell wrestled him in round 1, but I think once Silva got the fight standing, he absolutely destroyed him. Round 2 was brutal. Silva landed big shots, eventually knocked Campbell out cold. And after the fight, I know Silva talked about how broke he is and how he wants to go fight again soon. I'm going to ask this, guys. In what other sport are you going to see a fighter go out there and say, I'm broke?
Nothing.
Only in the UFC, right? I think that goes to show you the state of fighter pay that is supposedly supposed to get better under the Paramount.
I actually think professional lacrosse league players get paid more than the UFC now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's
absurd.
That was a very smally monetized sport. Very, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't explain myself. You know what I mean? They didn't make much money, and now they have a program set up for players to make more than UFC fighters, which UFC is, I love lacrosse, love it to death. Definitely a bigger sport than lacrosse.
100%. And it's more demanding on the physical side too.
Exactly.
So I just feel like they should be compensated fairly. Do you guys watch any MMA YouTubers? I watch a lot of MMA YouTubers. Shout out to Bedtime. Shout out to MMA Experts. Shout out to Luke Thomas. I follow a lot of Luke Thomas's content. What other YouTubers could I name out there? MMA Guru can be funny sometimes.
Yeah, I watch him for comedic purposes.
Yeah, sometimes he can be funny, but if I really want my comedy, I go to Bedtime, man. Bedtime is he's the guy. What do you guys think of MMA Joey? I don't watch MMA Joey. I've seen his stuff on Twitter before. I just think he baits a lot for engagement, and that's something that we actively try to avoid. If we're gonna tell you something, and if we tell you a hot take, we want to make that special, right? We always want to be honest with what we put out there. MMA Joey just kind of puts things out there to put things out there. And I feel like that's just not, well, you can operate it however you want. He's getting the engagement he wants. And if you're doing it that way, then go right on ahead. No one's going to stop you, but it's just not how me or Chris really operates in general. So
yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't like to rage bait or bait for engagement. I mean, for the most part, what we're saying is how we feel, and yeah, I mean, I feel like that's maybe what separates us a little bit. I mean, a lot of other people do the same thing, but I feel like Shrikar, Sam, and I are pretty authentic in our takes, and we're not just saying things to get engagement. I mean, everyone does it here and there, but that's not our sole purpose. Our sole purpose is to come on here and share our views with you guys.
But
Yeah.
but with that being said, sorry, Chris, I'll let you finish.
No, you're good.
But with that,
Yeah.
with that being said, much respect to MMA Joey. Being a content creator in this space is very, very difficult.
Oh, 100%. You got to stand out.
Me, Chris, and Sam have found that out the hard way. And we've always just wanted to build a base where we get to talk to people like y'all. It's never been about how many subscribers we've had. It's about how many of y'all hop in these streams, how many of y'all interact with our videos, how many people, really just talk to us. And that's the whole point of why we started the channel. We just like talking MMA. It's just something that we've carried over from college into now. So much respect to Joey for being a content creator, for obviously being a good content creator because he's getting the engagement. But yeah, that's just our thoughts. Dude is so hypocritical. He's a fan of Muslim fighters and Ian Gary for some reason. And apparently Gary was saying Islamophobic stuff, and Joey was like, he's pushing for the Islam fight. I was actually dumbfounded. Yeah, that's just the type of stuff he does, man. Like, it'll draw people in. That's the big goal at the end of the day, right? As long as he gets what he wants, he's done his job. So and
we're talking about him right now, so he did
exactly
right.
Yeah, so we're talking about him on our stream, so we're giving him the publicity that he wants. So it is what it is. But Chris, I'll let you go.
Oh ahead. Yeah, I don't have too much to say. Like I like Bedtime MMA Experts is good. Other. I mean, this guy he's a picks guy, but I like Hey Jive picks. He actually started from pretty much the bottom, and then other day I saw, or like a couple of months ago, I saw him on CBS Sports Network giving his picks out. I mean. It's just you put in the grind, you build a fan base. Sometimes what comes with that is saying things that are controversial. People might not agree with it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, no, I think I'm on Shrikar side, like Bedtime picks. Another guy we want picks, a guy named Angelo. He's a very good content creator, very authentic guy too. He doesn't really, bait, or like he just says his feelings, kind of like how we do it here. But I mean, it's it's a hard space. You just gotta do and see what sticks, and sometimes what sticks is controversial takes. I mean, it's just like anything. It's like all the great sports writers and sports broadcasters that you see, or sports analysts. It's like they say things to get you talking about a specific topic, or specifically them. I mean, Stephen A. Smith. I love Stephen A. Smith. He has some pretty controversial takes. I mean, does he believe all of them? I have no idea. But at the same time, part of his job is to get you talking about a specific topic. And if it's a controversial take that allows you to do that, so be it. It's engagement. That's the name of the game. The name of the game is engagement. Respectful engagement. You don't want to say out of pocket things that damage another person's reputation, or and people 100% do that and benefit off it too. But for us, it's just we're getting engagement by sharing our takes, and I think we're pretty authentic in that.
Hey, Tyler Betts, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you, my boy.
Yes, sir.
It's been a minute, man. How you been, bro? Let me know. But yeah, I completely agree, Chris. That's just kind of how it is in our space, especially. So, anyways, back to Danny Silva. Give him another fight quickly. I mean, the guy said he's broke. The guy deserves another fight.
Give it to him.
And he's in a good spot right now. He's 3-1 in the UFC, right? Only losses to Kevin Vallejos, which was
a banger. That was a banger fight.
It's not a bad loss, Guy I'm looking at is Bogdan Grad. Bogdan Grad is sitting at 2-2 in the promotion. He has an even record. I think he could use a fight like this. Obviously, last time out was in Qatar, where he got knocked out by Luke Riley. But Danny Silva is someone who's really going to push Bogdan, someone who can really, really test him. Especially because Bogdan is such a pressure fighter. So Silva's also kind of built of that same material, right? Silva's got finishing ability. it just feels like one of those fights where both guys definitely need it. So to me, the matchmaking was easy here. I would do Danny Silva and Bogdan pretty easily.
Yeah, I like that. I have no objections. Danny Silva, gritty striker. Curtis Campbell, grappler by trade. I mentioned it on the predictions video. If you want to go check that out and see what we said about the fights after they happened and see if we were right or wrong, go ahead and do that. But yeah, I said that if this was on the feet, Danny Silva has a good chance. I'm pretty sure I said that. I definitely mentioned it. But yeah, I mean, Curtis Campbell, not a great striker. Kind of just throw some overhands, throw some shots to get in on the takedown shot itself. And Silva did a good job of negating that, and then just sticking in the pocket, and boom, he caught him. He caught him bad too. That was a very clean, nice knockout from Danny Silva. But yeah, 3-1 in the UFC, only lost to Vallejos. I mean, it's pretty good record, especially with a loss like that. So, and he didn't even get finished by Kevin Vallejos. He stood there till the final bell and kept walking forward and talking crap, which you love that in a UFC fight. You gotta love that. Yeah, good performance from Danny Silva though. That definitely well deserved.
And I guess for Curtis Campbell, if you want a matchmaking pick, I'd say give him like a Ramon Tavares.
Yeah,
give him someone in that kind of same range where
a build-up fight.
Yeah, just try and build him up more, because obviously the UFC loves they love their scousers, don't they?
Yes, they do.
And this is the first time we saw a scouser get knocked out. So there you go.
I guess they can get knocked out.
Unless you're Patty Pimblett or Luke Riley, I guess.
Maybe Curtis Campbell's a fake scouser. That'd be the only reason.
Don't say that about Curtis Campbell.
Sorry, Curtis Campbell. Don't be mad at me. I'm joking.
Roman Dolidze versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Christian Leroy Duncan, he got the win. I wasn't super impressed. His striking looked sharp in the first round, and I think he landed some good shots. His takedown defense looked rough in that third round. I mean, Dolidze was able to control him for stretches during this fight. But either way it goes, CLD got the win. He's probably going to be in the top 15 now. But, I still think he's going to struggle against grapplers. If Roman Dolidze could do that to him, I'm thinking about what a guy like Fluffy could do to him, or any other grappler in this division at that. But in a sense, he is legit. He is in the rankings. I think my matchmaking kind of comes down to what happens in this Izzy Pyfer fight. If Izzy loses, I have a feeling they're going to do CLD versus Izzy. And that would be a big fast track for CLD. But I think if that doesn't happen, he's going to have to go through one of these killers at middleweight. Obviously, I mentioned Fluffy. That could be an option. Just something that'll pretty much test CLD and see if he's really, really ready for the top of the top in this division. Because I don't think the Dolidze fight proved that in the slightest for me.
I would give him the Jared Cannonier test.
Yeah, I think Jared would work too. But even then, Jared is kind of like not pushing it in a crazy direction, But I do agree.
It's like an ease into the higher class of middleweight. But definitely looked great in the first round. Great. And then he gassed. He definitely gassed. And Dolidze, we talked about it, very solid grappler. That danger is always there. CLD had it on the feet completely. But yeah, it was just more of a cardio issue, if I'm being completely honest. Tyler Betts says Shara versus CLD.
So Shara is actually fighting Michel Pereira. And I was going to say, if Shara beats Michel Pereira, which I believe is on the Macau card, I would actually want to see Shara and Dolidze over Shara and CLD. Because I feel like that'd be fast-tracking Shara like crazy. I don't know if CLD will want to fight down, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, probably not.
Bashara and Roman, I think, would be solid if they wanted to go that route.
I can agree with that. That I can definitely agree with that. But yeah, CLD cardio definitely looked a little bit concerning, but still got the win. I think it was a pretty unanimous win, obviously unanimous decision, but it was a pretty clear-cut victory for CLD.
And Dolidze is going to enter gatekeeper status at this point.
Yeah.
You look at all the guys that are about to knock on the door of the rankings. Tyler, as you mentioned, Shara Magomedov. Ikram Aliskerov is about to fight Bruno Ferreira. And if Ikram wins that, he's going to be deserving of a rank shot. Who else? Nursultan Ruzaboev is about to fight Andrei Pelayev. If Nursultan wins that one, he's going to be ready for a ranked opportunity. So I think there's a lot of different directions you could go with Roman, but put him against a guy that's, about to get into the rankings is what I'd say. Just like they did with CLD, that's kind of going to be Roman's role from here on out. He will just be a gatekeeper. He will be a test that you have to pass. And while CLD did pass the test, I wouldn't say he did it with flying colors. Evo did, though. Evo definitely passed this test with flying colors. I'd go as far as saying I don't even know why this fight was sanctioned.
Sanctioned murder.
Who in the world thought Austin Lane, who already had a glass chin to begin with, should cut 60 pounds of weight and put him up against Ivo Baranevsky of all people? I mean, this was always going to end with Ivo by KO in the first minute of the fight. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what Austin Lane was thinking. And if I'm Austin Lane, I would really think about retirement at this point in time. He's 38 years old. He's very old. He's 1-4 in the UFC, or is he 1-4 or 1-5? I'm not sure, but he only has one win in the promotion. And
not a good record.
And the one win was against Robelis de Spain,
which is crazy. I thought Robelis de Spain was going to be like the next guy.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy to think about, but yeah, I think Austin Lane is pretty much done. For Ivo Baranevsky, though, you just gave him a layup, and he did what he had to do.
Now let's give him a free throw. Nah, you can take a tough midi on him, tough mid range shot.
What about Billy Elikana?
I think that's a free throw.
So Billy Elikana's 3-1 in the UFC, which comes to the surprise of some people, but he's 3-1. He's a tough guy. Obviously, he took that first shot against Mr. Tafa. He survived it, came back and subbed him. I think this would be a test for Evo in the sense that can he deal with someone who is not a free knockout, right? I think that's the big thing people wanted to see with Gauthier as well, and we kind of saw that in the Pelayev fight. I think the Elikana fight would be Evo's Pelayev in this case. I wanted Robelis de Spain to be a success so bad.
Same.
Yeah,
felt that really bad.
He's doing good in karate combat though, right? I haven't really been keeping track.
No, he's an insane striker. It's just not an MMA like striking style. It's more of just combat karate.
How do you guys think a striking only match between Cyril Gane and Despain would go? Gane.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
Gane, without a question in my mind, would win that fight.
Oh yeah, I agree. But like that'd be a pretty good fight.
Yeah, it'd low-key be pretty dope. Obviously, just on the feet. Despain has more power, obviously, but I think Gane just wins these chess matches to the extent that Despain cannot hang with that. But it would be interesting. It would be interesting for sure.
That's a good question.
But Chris, Ivo Baranevsky, what you think, man?
Yeah, he's a dog. There's nothing really more to say about him. He is certified dog status. Yeah, this was a layup. I mean, as free can be. It's like going outside and finding $20 on the no. It's like going outside and finding grass. How about that? That's That's how free this was. We're like going outside and looking up and seeing the sky.
Yeah.
Whether it's cloudy, blue, I don't care. Just looking up and see if the sky is still there. Has the sky fallen? It's like like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Yo, shout out Chicken Little.
Yeah, dope movie. Dope movie.
One of my favorite movies of all time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Love Chicken Little. Also shout out Chicken Little. He wears glasses. Glasses gang. Gotta represent. Yeah, I mean, Evo is a dog. I do like that matchup with Elikana. Even I would like to see him take on Umar C. Even though C is like, I don't know what's happening with him. Such raw talent and just can't put it together. I mean, getting subbed by Jan Kudalaba. I mean, geez. Yeah, that's not a very good look for Umar C. I could understand the Benefield one just because Benefield's a grizzled vet. Jan is pushing a solidly old age for MMA.
People forget, man. Jan Kutelaba.
He's a dog. He's a dog. Don't get me wrong. He's also certified dog status. Yeah, he is certified dog status. But yeah, I think Billy Elikana can make sense too. Two guys. Evo's 2-0. Elikana 3-1. Excuse me. Yeah, why not? Even I was gonna say Zachary's, but he just fought at middleweight, and I don't think he's coming back to light heavyweight. If I'm being completely honest. So
I realized this today, but so many of the light heavyweights in the UFC have cool names. They do. Yuri,
they really do.
Evo, Johnny Walker, Zhang Mingyang.
Johnny Walker. That is such a cool name.
He's literally named after alcohol. That's so sick.
That is sick. Dude, Black Label Johnny Walker.
Literally.
Keep that away from me.
Yeah, keep that away from me too.
None of that. Yeah, but yeah, good job by Evo. He definitely did not miss the layup. He slam dunked it actually.
Okay, here we go. MVP versus Sam Patterson.
My goat.
This was a rough fight. No other way to say it. I'm going to defend Sam Patterson here. He's young. He's on a 4-fight finish streak. I believe all in round 1. I could be wrong about that. He's got potential. He's got upside. I think this was a bad matchup. It was a weird fight. Whatever. I think this one is forgivable. I am very, 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 very disappointed in MVP. The amount of hype that he came in with, the aura, I guess you could say, and then fights like this. This has been my one big problem with MVP, and it's kind of been a deteriorating thing with me, with my love for MVP since he's come to the UFC. Obviously, I loved him in Bellator. He's not entertaining, man. He's really not. And chat, I really need y'all to weigh in here because I have very, very strong feelings about this. I think the UFC should cut MVP. I think they should cut him. The guy's 38 years old. I don't see a future for him in the UFC. I think he has a better future in MVP. Ironically enough, I think he has a better future on that Netflix card. Yeah, I was so disappointed in MVP. Blame Patterson and the matchmakers. I will put some of it on the matchmakers. I think this was a really, really bad fight to begin with. But my thing is MVP does not take risks. In any of his fights, he has not taken risks. He has no urgency. He's just killing the fight the whole time, just watching the clock go down, doing nothing. I have no interest in seeing a guy like this hold up a ranking. I honestly don't need to see him again in the UFC. If this is what we're going to get, what's the point? This is a genuine question. Like, what is the point? I really don't feel like I'm getting anything from MVP. And it's all respect to him, but he's not a ranked, he is a ranked fighter, but it just feels like he's holding a spot. at least to me. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. Chris, I'll toss it to you. MVP has put on a few bangers in the UFC. UFC knew his style as a counter striker when they signed him. Felt like a treat for fans when they signed him. He proved himself in Bellator. But yeah, it's kind of my problem. Like, again, with the amount of hype he came in with, he's underdelivered. Like, really, really underdelivered. I think in all of his fights, I can't really name you like a lot of memorable moments. Like, I can't tell you one thing that happened in that Chara fight. The Holland fight, Holland actually tried to make it entertaining, and MVP just kind of did the classic MVP thing. Cannonier, obviously, MVP dropped him in round 1. Couldn't tell you anything that happened after that. And then this fight was terrible. So, and then obviously Ian Gary, that was a boring fight too. So I don't see the entertainment factor with him. And it may just not be my style, but I used to like MVP for what it's worth. But yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely a boring fight. And I do not think the matchmakers did a good job on this. They can't get everything right, but I just feel like sometimes when you put together two training partners, it's super, super hit or miss. And especially in a technical, especially with a guy like MVP who's very technical. And like Sam Patterson understood that they like he was a little hesitant. MVP obviously doing MVP things. It's just, I mean, I don't think they should cut him. I'm gonna disagree with Shrikar on this. I don't think they should cut him. I could somewhat understand why, but I just do not think that would be the right move for the UFC. Because the entertainment factor is there. It just has to be unlocked. And for MVP, I understand like he could definitely do more in these fights, like 100%, 100%. I can't.
Chris, it's been 5 fights.
But all right, my one gripe though is that like there are entertaining moments in these fights. Like every like it's not like he's just running around the octagon for 15 straight minutes and doing nothing. Like he'll crash the pocket, land a big strike, and then bounce out and circle again.
So across 5 fights, MVP has landed 161 strikes. Sean Strickland had more than that in one fight against Paulo Costa. And people thought that fight was boring. So what does that make MVP? You know what I mean? Like,
makes him. He's an entertainer.
And also, I don't see why the UFC would feel any way about letting him go, because they gave him Sam Patterson. They clearly don't like him. And MVP has been very outspoken about fighter pay, which I'll agree with him there. I think fighter pay is in a very bad spot. But up to the matchmakers to give him entertaining matchups where they keep making him hop weight classes, give him an elite striker like Izzy or someone aggressive like Buckley who will chase him down. I think he should just stay at 185. If he's going to remain in the UFC, 185 is the better weight class for him.
I agree with that.
I could see MVP versus Buckley looking like Wonder Boy versus Buckley. That's possible. Cannonier fight was good. Was it? I mean, I
thought it was pretty solid.
It was such a forgettable fight for me. Gary fight was good till Gary was forced to grapple. But I think that's more of Gary was still forcing the issue on the feet. Like Gary was the one that was making that into a fight, if anything.
But that's the type of opponent that I think MVP needs to face. He needs to face someone that will come forward and strike.
We saw him against Kevin Holland in his debut, and it wasn't anything like.
I mean, dude, that was all right. I'm not saying it was a great fight, but like that was still a cool fight to watch.
It was cool, but
like I mean, MVP like he would crash the pocket, and when he lands, it's like, dude, you just hold your breath.
I don't hold my breath.
The thing is, MVP doesn't throw combos. He throws one shot.
That's the problem. Like I just don't see what's
that's how he's
entertaining
always
about that.
been. Like he's never been the guy to go in there and just unleash combos. He's always a circle around, find the right moment, boom, boom. It's either a 1 or a 1-2, and that's it. And then that's all you're gonna get. It's just an emphatic 1 or 1-2. Like, he's never been the guy to just stand there and kind of brawl. So I mean, I don't know. I think that, like, I mean, I still think he's an entertaining guy. I mean, I this fight not entertaining. I will give you that. But like, I still think he's a somewhat marquee guy that you want on a card. Like, it's not like, oh no, MVP's fighting. There's so many other fighters that I could be like, dude, I do not want to watch him fight. I just don't want to sit through that.
Do you guys think MVP versus Strickland would be boring? Hey, Chris, answer that question. I'll be right back. I have to charge.
Okay. Do I think MVP versus Strickland would be boring? Nah, that's like that's a pretty that's kind of a hit or miss, honestly. Honestly, no, because I think Strickland would walk him down, and it's like I said, it's like MVP would dart in and out of the pocket. I mean, he like I just mentioned, he's not a guy that's going to stand there and throw combos. He's never been that guy. It's just when he throws and lands, it's emphatic. It's an emphatic shot, and sometimes they're few and far in between. But he said no, that would be a banger. Tyler said no, that would be a banger. IMO John. But I can see what you mean because they both put on a few boring fights. Yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. It's hit or miss. I think it could be a great fight because Strickland's a guy that's gonna walk MVP down and walk through the fire. And MVP, you know, like, yeah, sometimes, maybe most of the time, his strikes are few and far in between. But it's like when those strikes occur and land, it's like, oh, like you're holding your breath. So I don't know. I still think MVP's an entertaining guy. I would love to watch him fight. This one definitely a wash. You can forget about this one. But I don't really think his other fights were egregious. And I'm not saying that you said they were egregious, Streetcar, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think his other fights were like forgettable fights. I mean, yeah, they don't have, and he could have finished Cannonier. He was just, his ego just said, I'm going to toy with him and, just let him live to see if I can get him a few more clippable moments. John said, I asked someone else about this fight. He said that could be boring, but at the same time, maybe both their boringness would cancel out. That's pretty funny.
Well, I actually kind of agree with that.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Tyler, yeah, MVP gonna MVP no matter what. Just give him someone willing to bring the fight to him. Exactly. You just need someone that's gonna press the issue on him, and he's a counter striker. Like, he's gonna counter strike. He's not gonna bring the fight to you unless presented with it. Like, when he lands his shots, it's because the other guy's walking forward or their guard is slightly down and he darts in and then he darts out. It's not like I'm gonna blitz you and try and unload and knock you out like that. It's more of, he's a highlight guy. He looks for the highlights
With
all
no
the time.
highlights, by the way.
Are we talking about UFC or all time?
Yeah, UFC.
Okay. Yes. We could say that. But encompassed in his career, he's a highlight guy. MVP for the sick knockouts and the highlight reel finishes. But yeah, I mean, but like, what I'm saying is that's what he's looking for. He's looking to have that crazy one punch, one knee highlight knockout.
All right, let's reach a compromise here, guys. And chat, you guys included. MVP also went out and said, I want someone who's going to come at me instead of another slow, awkward matchup. If the UFC is keeping him around, I want them to give him a true make or break fight, and I want it to be at 185. I'm going to propose this. I think they should do MVP versus Fluffy if they keep him around.
Yes, I'm all for it.
Fluffy is about as pure of a pressure fighter as you're going to find. The guy only knows how to go forward. There's no backing up. He doesn't wait around. He is pushing the pace. He's forcing exchanges. He's looking to grapple. If Fluffy wins this fight and MVP loses, it is not going to look like this Patterson fight. Things are not going to stall out. If MVP cannot deal with the pressure that Fluffy brings to him, he is going to get mauled by Fluffy. Because we've already seen in the Gary fight that he can be controlled on the ground, and Fluffy is going to follow that blueprint to a T. But if MVP wins, this is the type of opponent he wants, right? This is someone who's going to keep coming forward, give him the openings to counter. Fluffy is not going to, out technique this guy. He's not going to stay at range. So if MVP does get his timing going, I think this is where the highlight knockout could happen for him. I think if you put him against Fluffy, MVP is very, very live to finish that fight. And that's kind of why it works for both guys, because if MVP loses, it is going to be a knockout. Or, sorry, it could be a submission too. If Fluffy loses, it's going to be a knockout. Either way, you're getting clarity, all right? It's not, I wouldn't say it's a guaranteed banger, but whoever loses that fight,
high potential.
It's going to end in a finish, is what I would say. Whether it's through Fluffy or MVP doing his thing. So
okay, Shrikar, on behalf of me and all the MVP stands, we accept your compromise.
Yeah, I think that's the way you got to go. I like it, but I'd rather see an aggressive striker. I just feel like if you want pure aggression, Fluffy is the way to go. Like that's about as aggressive as it's going to get. I'd probably say he's the most aggressive guy in that top 15, to be honest. So a guy that will give you relentless pressure, relentless pace, that's the type of guy that needs to be fighting MVP. And if that's the guy he wants, I think Fluffy literally just fits that to a bill. T fits the bill. But yeah, I don't know. Any last thoughts on MVP before we move on to the co-main?
Nope. I just know that he has what we want in him. Wait, wow. I'm backtracking that. Yeah, no. He has the abilities possessed within himself. And I know that they would be able to be shown with the right opponent.
Well, we'll see. We're 5 fights in. I hope to God they gave him the right opponent, but if he's still making making requests, then we'll see what happens. Fluffy, a title fighter, MVP, and entertainer. I see. That's my problem. If that was the point, and he hasn't given you an entertaining fight, and he's sitting in the rankings, what is the point of MVP? Like, and obviously, I digress because Tyler, obviously, you find him entertaining and you can stand on that. But I don't know. For me personally, I just look at it the other way, and that just gets me thinking about why he's still here. But anyways, co-main event, Luke Riley, Michael Aswell. This was a fun fight. Pretty clear win for Luke Riley on the scorecards, but Aswell has a concrete head. Literal concrete head. I think he is going to be a nightmare matchup for a lot of the unranked pool. Luke Riley just wasn't the one to test him. I will say, though, I've still got some gripes with Luke Riley that I want to see him kind of patch up. Sometimes he doesn't string his combos together in the way that I want him to. Sometimes he'll land a big shot and then he'll just wait. I'd love to see him put together some really, really sick combos because he has the power for sure. And again, it's a credit to Michael Aswell that he was able to eat all those shots. But I think it's because it was coming one at a time. So Aswell was better prepared to defend it. So that's one thing, keep that pressure on, build on those clean shots that you get, because once you're fighting the ranked guys, they're going to capitalize on that. That's something that doesn't get fixed. But he has time. He's still young. He's still unranked. I think he has a couple more fights to really tighten that up before the level really jumps on him. So I think that's my one big thing with Luke Riley. But otherwise, I was definitely entertained by this fight. I will say. I think this was a fun one. And shout out to Michael Aswell too.
Yeah, I actually did not get to watch this fight, and I did not watch it back. So I'm not going to tell you guys that I did. So yeah, I co-sign everything that Shrikar says. Whatever he said, yeah, that's how I feel.
Hey, I appreciate you putting that much faith in me, considering we just had a whole debate about MVP.
Chill,
But
bro. You still know ball. I trust your
hey,
intuition and your analysis.
hey, thank you, my brother. It's always likewise.
Yeah.
Solid take. Hope they don't rush him too fast. Co-main is wild though. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it was a fun fight. It definitely did not have the aura of a
Oh my
co-main
God.
event.
Yo, I just remembered I was calling for MVP Sam Patterson to be the co-main over this.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that aged like milk. Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of agreed with it too. So I'm not exempt here. But
Oh, that's a bad take to look back on. All right,
hey,
let's just like scratch that from everyone's memory bank.
again, y'all, there's no scratching. The video receipts are there.
You're right.
Every time we put a video up, it's a
I'm just
receipt.
gonna go back and edit it and just take out that whole part.
In terms of the matchmaking, obviously the UFC likes Luke Riley. They're gonna keep pushing him. He keeps delivering. You know, they're gonna keep putting him in these big spots. They're not gonna move him backwards. I think a real test here. How about Luke Riley versus Calvin Kattar?
I like it. Calvin
Like,
Kattar's kind of it's so sad to say now, but he's kind of the punching bag. So
yeah, I'm sorry, Calvin, but he's a tough guy.
yeah, it's a good test.
Definitely respected in this division. This is really the fight that'll tell you if Riley's ready. If he can get through the Kattar fight and he patches up what I really want to see him fix, it's gonna bode well for him for sure. And Luke Riley was a guy that I really liked coming into the UFC. So I think he's in a fine spot. You know, again, he's still young. He's got time, but I'd like to see Calvin Kattar. Put him up against a vet. Put him against a guy that has a legit name in this unranked pool. So, yeah, I think that would make the most sense for me.
Yeah, I no doubts. I co-sign everything you just said.
All right, Pat. Let's get to this main event, y'all. If you're still here with us, make sure you like up the stream. Make sure you subscribe if you're new in here. Make sure you subscribe and hop in this chat. Let's talk about this main event, man.
Ooh.
Obviously, I took MOVSAR. Chris took Lerone. Sam ended up taking MOVSAR.
I got robbed at gunpoint. That was brutal. Well, since they were in London, I got robbed at knife point.
First off, here's one thing I want to get off my chest. The commentary during this main event was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I rewatched this fight and I had the sound completely off. It was a much different fight. I think the commentary swung it that much for me. I love Paul Felder. Shout out Paul Felder. He was not to blame here. I blame Michael
having
Bisping
and Gooden on the broadcast definitely would explain why.
Yeah, but you would have thought Lerone Murphy was up, 5-0 going into the scorecards. I thought this was a really close fight. Now, I will say, I was still surprised that they went to MOVSAR. I think Murphy won the first 3 rounds. The fourth was basically a wash with the point deduction. MOVSAR took the 5th. I had it 48-46 Murphy. I went back and looked at it again. It was a little bit closer on a rewatch. I could see where the judges may give those first 3 rounds to MOVSAR, especially that 3rd round. It was very, very close. Those first 2, MOVSAR did have his moments. It's not like Lerone was completely outclassing this guy on the feet. I do feel bad for Lerone too. He clearly was not right with that hip injury, and it turns out he tore his hip flexor. So prayers up to Lerone. I hope everything is going well there. He was definitely fighting through a lot of pain. He's a tough guy. Yeah, he's been through a lot in his life, and it definitely shows in the way he fights as well. I will say, though, we got to put some respect on MOVSAR striking. As much as you guys want to say that, and I've seen this take before, that, he should have just wrestled from the jump. He should have just done this, done that. I definitely agree that he could have just wrestled from the beginning and won. But his striking looked really, really good. Like, it really did. The fact that he was able to go toe-to-toe with Lerone on the feet, it kind of speaks volumes. he almost beat Lerone at his own game, interestingly enough.
Yep.
If that version shows up again, he is absolutely ready for this title shot. No doubt in my mind. I don't think John Silva should be getting this title shot over MOVSAR. I think that's a weird thing that's been floating around. And I get it with the matchmaking in Paramount era and they want entertaining fighters and everything. But if they don't give MOVSAR this title shot, matchmaking is utterly broken. Like, I think MOVSAR has staked his claim. And Lerone literally said it in the post-fight interview that MOVSAR deserves this shot. So it's almost to the point where it's like, what more do you want him to do? Right? Anyways, but it was definitely a close fight. You could argue either way on that decision. But the bigger picture here is both of these guys were already title shot ready before that fight. So at this point, MOVSAR should be fighting for gold next. No question. If he's not, what are we doing here? Like, he's either getting the shot or everything goes to hell here.
Yeah, he's staked his claim for the championship fight against Alexander Volkanovski. The reason I say robbery is because initially I had it 3-0 Lerone. I would say it was probably 2-1. But I say robbery because I really, in all reality, think it should have been a draw. I mean, Lerone could have won, but I just didn't see MOVSAR winning 4 rounds of that fight, in my opinion. I really didn't think he did. Yes, I agree they were close, and it wasn't, clearly Lerone. I think Lerone clearly, though, won 2 rounds, though. I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I just didn't see. I didn't see that, and I wasn't even listening with commentary because I didn't have my AirPods in. I was just watching on my phone, and I just felt like Lerone was landing the better shots, and it looked just from just from like some of my friends who don't even watch UFC. They tuned in because I was like, oh, this is a sick fight. They're both undefeated, and they don't scoring. They don't take it into account. But for an not even an average fan, for a new fan, they were like, how did that guy lose the fight? Like, how did he lose? I mean, that just didn't make sense to them. I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I mean, I could see a draw. Like, I think the draw is super valid. Especially, well, obviously including the point deduction. I just didn't personally think Lerone won 4 rounds. I was pretty confused, if I'm being completely honest. The 3rd round was up for grabs. The final sequence at the end of the round probably swayed it for MOVSAR, and I'm assuming he got the 3rd round on every judge's scorecards because it was a draw and then 48-46 on 2 other scorecards. But yeah, I think it was just take away Lerone winning. I just think it was a robbery, the fact that it wasn't a draw, or better for Lerone, if that makes sense.
All right, let's see what Tyler's saying. I agree with the scorecards. EVLOEV 1, 3, 4, 5. He did more damage in round 1, hurt Murphy with those body kicks and teep. Pretty easy W for Volk. Hope they book it quickly. Murphy could barely stand, though, and face was bashed. I wouldn't have hated a draw. I do agree. I think Volk should handle MOVSAR.
Yeah,
I think the one thing that could maybe harm Volk is the pressure of MOVSAR, how much he throws now that we've seen it in this fight. But, it's nothing that Volk can't handle. I think he should get it done. But it's funny that you say how Murphy looked at the end. So when I rewatched it, it honestly kind of reminded me, and Chris, you're either gonna love or hate this comparison. It felt like Dominic Reyes versus John Jones.
No comment.
Where if we go round by round, you would think Reyes would win, but over the totality of 5 rounds, maybe the judges thought different and MOVSAR should be the rightful winner at the end of the day. Now, I will say, I don't think this is as egregious as that was. I I will still stand by the fact
No
that Reyes
comment.
in that fight.
No
But
comment.
I'm not going to go down that wormhole right now. But I thought there is a clear argument that MOVSAR took 4 rounds. And bless you. I think there is, while I wouldn't have scored it that way personally, I can at least see where people are coming from. Because MOVSAR looked really good. And I feel like people are taking it away from him now because they feel like the scorecards were wrong. Guys, MOVSAR looked really freaking good in that fight. Like, I don't think people are understanding. People thought he was going to be lost on the feet.
Yeah.
And this is something I told you on predictions too. He damn near dropped Arnold Allen with a jab. Like, he's not like some helpless lost puppy.
He made me eat my words with the striking ability.
Like,
I will give him that. I will give him that.
The guy can strike, and we all would have liked to see him wrestle. But at the end of the day, it's all the more impressive that he went out there.
I was going to say,
proved that he could do it on the
I'm
feet
honestly
as well.
more impressed that he didn't even wrestle and still performed like that.
And at first I was thinking maybe it's because he's just saving it for the later rounds. And it turns out that was kind of the case. He was kind of just saving the cardio and all the wrestling he wanted to do for later on. But I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with MOVSAR. I'm very impressed with Lerone too, for what it's worth. I think this was a great fight. Definitely a weird fight with some weird circumstances with obviously that 4th round and the point deduction. Tyler says he wouldn't have hated a draw. I wouldn't have hated a draw either. But
I think that was, in my opinion, the only really valid outcome.
But think about it. If we got a draw, John Silva would be getting the title shot.
Probably would. He probably would.
It's crazy how that works. And I was thinking that may be where they were leaning, but
yeah, it was, I don't know. Well, also, so Lerone apparently tore his hip flexor early in the 4th round, and if you watch it back, that's really where the wheels started to fall off for him. I mean, that's a pretty brutal injury to suffer in a fight like that when you have to be mobile and wrestle. Oh my God, that's brutal. Yeah, prayers up to Lerone. But yeah, I mean, the 3rd round super up for grabs. Like, even if Lerone wins MOVSAR wins 3, 4, and 5, the point deduction makes it a draw. I don't know. My opinion, I think Lerone won the first 2. Vegas thought so too. I mean, dude, his live odds in the 3rd round was like minus 700. So that was not saying that the odds makers know everything, but for Lerone to be minus 700 in the 3rd round, you know, it's almost like they gave him the 3rd round too. Like, they were giving him the first 2 rounds and the 3rd round, because he was plus 200 and he flipped to minus 700. That's a 7-1 favorite. Like, that's pretty big, and they don't usually mess that up. They don't mess that up. Like, they're pretty good at that. But obviously they are not with the judges. They are not in their head, so they, like, obviously you can't put that on Vegas. It's just a line. Actually, one of my friends live bet MOVSAR in the 4th round, I think, at like plus 500.
Crazy.
Yeah, he only threw like $10 on it, but like, yeah, I don't know why he did it. No idea. Good choice, 100%. Yeah.
I guess so.
But he got to the announcements of the scorecards. He's like, dude, I was fully expected to lose. He was like, he literally texted me, how did I win? Like, he was confused how he won. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. That good hit. I was like, good hit, bro. Like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I just really think that Lerone at least had the first 2. I was pretty confident that he won the first 2 rounds. So yeah, I even put a tweet out about it. I was like, I said Lerone Murphy suffered one of, if not the worst robbery in UFC history. The fact that this wasn't a draw, at least a draw, is egregious. I said there's no one on this planet that can convince me that MOVSAR won this fight outright. And then some guy commented with a bet slip of a 4-leg parlay with MOVSAR as the last leg and said, I had MOVSAR. That was a draw at most.
Yeah.
So even he was like, how did I just threw money in the fire and it came back?
I don't know. When I rewatched it, I could see it. I could see it personally.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch it. But off rip, my initial thoughts were that that should have been a draw or better for Lerone Murphy. But regardless, I have to give props to Movsar because, like you said, the striking looked superb, and he made me eat my words. Kind of like when that happens in UFC. I like when fighters prove me wrong. Um, yeah, he looks ready. He looks ready, and especially after that fight, I think the UFC is going to look at him a little bit differently now in marketing ways. He was kind of labeled the unmarketable fighter because he was boring. He just wrestled. I mean, he's had spurts of the striking game, like you mentioned, Arnold Allen. Even in the Diego Lopez fight, I mean, he stood toe to toe with Diego Lopez and beat Lopez. That's one of his 2 losses in the UFC, and the other one being Volk, or one of 3 because he lost to Volk twice. But yeah, I mean, it's finally culminated for Movsar, I think, and I mean, I think I'm definitely gonna have more respect for him, especially in that aspect, and I think it just makes him more dangerous because now it gives fighters another thing to think about. You know, you kind of go into the fight, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna wrestle. You're gonna have a whole wrestling camp, and now Movsar comes out throwing bombs. It's like that's a
And to be
tough
fair,
ask.
Murphy was defending the takedowns really well.
Yeah, he was, until he tore his hip flexor, and then it became a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just Movsar really. That was the level up of Movsar Evloev that I think we were all waiting to see. And yeah, like I think he's going to be a marketable guy now. I mean, I'm not marketable in terms of, you know what I mean, like popularity and things like that.
But
But
you
I
could
think
put
he
him in a
gained a lot of.
title fight and sell it.
Exactly. I think he gained a lot of respect from the UFC and the MMA community for going out there, standing toe to toe with a very good striker in Lerone Murphy, holding his own and then some, and ultimately winning the fight, whether controversial or not. He did enough to win multiple rounds in that fight.
Yeah, I completely agree. For one last thing before we peace out, some matchmaking for Lerone Murphy. Whoever wins between Sterling and Zalal, I think, is next for Lerone, and obviously we'll see how long Lerone's going to be out with this hip flexor. But I think he should be back some point in the summer, fall ish. Like,
Yeah, I would say more towards fall. Hip flexor is pretty brutal.
yeah, probably fall. But anyways, I don't think Sterling's.
I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him till next year either.
You should come back this year. I don't think it'll be that long. But we'll see. Either way, I think the Sterling Zalal winner would make a lot of sense for him. And then obviously for Movsar, title shot. It's got to be a title shot.
Yeah.
Put him against Volk. Volk is calling for it. He said he'd rather fight Movsar than Silva. Who am I to disagree with the champ in this case? I think he always just ends up speaking for us.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude of a champ. That is a champ's champ right there with Volk. So
yep.
I completely agree with him. But hey, man, it is super late right now.
Yep.
And me and Chris both got to get up early. So
I don't. I'm off today.
Well,
I'm gonna hit the gym though. So
all right. So we both have things to look forward to tomorrow. So hey, we want to thank y'all for being with us on stream, being here on the late night. We'll try and make it a little earlier. The schedules are making it a little tough.
Yes.
But we just wanted to get this out for you guys. Obviously, we missed last week. So we didn't want to miss this week for sure, especially with this card and this main event. So yeah, we'll be right back for Seattle. We'll have Seattle predictions out this week, probably on Friday. Friday, is that what we're aiming for? Thursday or Friday.
Probably. I would say Friday.
Tyler says W stream. Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, hopping in chat with us. We really, really, really appreciate it. I'm going to UFC Seattle, dude.
Fire.
Have fun, man. Have fun. That's going to be a dope event.
Fire.
We can't wait to cover it at least on here. Give our predictions, especially for that main event, Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Putting the house on Izzy. Hey,
we love it.
We love it. I'm not gonna spoil my prediction, but I like that.
Yeah, wait, Tyler, since you're a betting man, comment on our prediction video. Let us know what your betting slate is for that night. If you
let us know the pick. Let us know.
We'll do some comparisons. But yeah, dude, have a great time. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a live UFC event. Yeah, it just can't be.
Especially with a guy like Izzy. There's gonna be a lot of hardcore fans there.
For sure, for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. But hey, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Again, we'll be right back with the Seattle predictions. Socials down below. War Room MMA Pod.
Yes, sir.
Again, thank y'all for hopping in the war room with us. We'll catch you next time. Good night, y'all. See ya.